Market structure in the advertising industry. We're looking at the monopolistic competition and the oligopoly. The advertising industry today operates within different market structures depending on how firms compete and how many players exist. Also, we look at it from the angle of how much control each firm has over pricing and services. Two major structures that best describe this industry are monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Understanding these structures explains how advertising agencies operate, how they innovate, and how they compete for clients in the markets, such as Nigeria, in order for them to be able to have a bite from the already existing market share. So let's look at it from the angle of the monopolistic competition in advertising. In monopolistic competition is a market structure where many firms operate, and entry into the market is relatively easy, and each firm tries to make its services different from others. In advertising, this structure is very common, especially among small and medium-sized agencies, such as the creative boutique, the in-house agency. You find them within this monopolistic competition when it comes to advertising. So a major feature of this structure is product differentiation, meaning that agencies are that are encapsulated in this monopolistic competition try to stand out through creativity and unique service delivery. For example, some Nigerian agencies are known for emotional storytelling in campaigns, while others only focus on digital innovations or cultural relevance. Even though many agencies offer similar services such as branding, social media marketing, and public relations, they still compete by building distinct identities and creative styles. Another important feature is the large number of firms in the market, and there are many advertising agencies operating independently, each of them targeting different clients such as businesses, NGOs, and startups. So because of this, no single agency has full control over the market, and competition is very high at the monopolistic level, because ease of entry is the major characteristics. And you find out that new agencies at this period or at this point can enter the industry with relatively low capital compared to industries like manufacturing. So this has led to the rise of startups, especially in the digital marketing and influencer campaigns, particularly in urban innovation hubs like Lagos. Today we'll now talk about that in Ilorin as well. So in monopolistic competition, firms compete mainly through non-price competition, meaning they focus more on creativity, they focus more on branding, they focus more on reputation and customer relationships rather than lowering their prices. So clients often choose agencies based on trust, they choose agencies based on quality of ideas and past performance rather than cost alone. Finally, when we talk about the monopolistic agencies or competition, agencies at this period point often use cultural adaptation and audience targeting to remain relevant, and as such, campaigns are tailored to different regions, languages, and social groups to ensure messages connect effectively with audiences. And the next we'll be looking at is the oligopoly in advertising industry. An oligopoly is a market structure dominated by a small number of large firms that control a significant share of the market. And in advertising, this is seen among top agencies that handle major corporate brands, multinational companies, and government advertising contracts. So a key feature of oligopoly is market dominance by few firms. Unlike the monopolistic where the world is free, anybody can come into the market. But at oligopoly level, the market is dominated by only few firms. And large agencies at this point often manage high budget campaigns For major brands such as telecom companies, banks, and international corporations, and their size, their experience, and reputation give them a strong advantage over smaller competitors. Another important feature is high barriers to entry. It is difficult for new agencies to compete at the top level because of the need for strong financial resources that they do not have. Industry recognition might not as well be there for younger agencies. So regulatory approval and long-standing client relationships. So these factors limit competition at the highest tier of the industry. So oligopoly involves interdependence among firms. So this means that when one major agency changes its strategy, others respond accordingly. For example, if one leading agency introduces a new digital advertising strategy, others may also adjust their approach to remain competitive at the oligopoly level. In addition, oligopolistic firms often engage in collaboration through industry associations, where they help set standards, policies, and ethical guidelines for advertising practice. And this gives them influence over how the entire industry operates. Like monopolistic competition, oligopoly also relies heavily on non-price competition, where agencies compete through creativity, awards, reputation, quality of service rather than reducing prices. Finally, top agencies often enjoy exclusive access to major clients and premium media platforms by allowing them to dominate high-value advertising spaces that smaller firms cannot easily access. One could say at this point that the advertising industry operates as a mix of both monopolistic competition and oligopoly. While many small and medium agencies compete freely through creativity and branding, a few large agencies dominate high-value contracts and influence industry standards. So together, these structures shape how advertising services are delivered and how firms compete and how innovation develops in the industry.